The continuous history of rock and roll is brought to you by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you.
Rolling Stone Magazine's Continuous History of Rock and Roll, Volume 1, Number 45. Our series on rock producers continues this week with the man who's helped shape the sound of Yes. Emerson, Lake and Palmer. Billy Squire.
You should be high, love. You should be my love.
The Dregs. And more. I'm Gary Bridges. When we return, we'll meet producer Eddie Offord.
Well, it's late in the evening and the lights are low. You've been playing the blues, but now it's time to go. So here's to you for all you do. Well, this Bud's for you. Listen to me now. For all you do, for all you do. It's not what you say, oh, it's what you do. So here's to you, just for all you do. I tell you this Bud's for you, for all you do. Yeah, this Bud's for you. From Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Have you ever wondered how a rock and roll record is made? It's not too different from putting together a movie or stage play, except that the performers are often the writers of their product as well. Performers on all levels need guidance and direction, and in the case of the more modern art forms, technical assistance. In music recording, it's the producer who directs the job and does the guiding and shaping of the sound. And in modern recording, few producers have had as much influence on their artists as this week's producer, Eddie Offord. His work with Yes and defined the sound of modern music and art rock in the 70s.
I miss, but don't be unkind. It don't mean I'm blind. Perhaps there's a thing or two I think of lying in bed I shouldn't have said, but there it is. You see, it's all clear. You were meant to be here. From the beginning. Maybe I might have changed, not been so cruel, not being such a fool. Whatever was done is done. I just can't recall. It doesn't matter at all. You see, it's all clear. You were meant to be here. From the beginning.
From their 1972 album, Trilogy. Eddie Offord helped out there, but mainly on the engineering side of the album. There's a difference between engineer-producer and an arranger-producer, and Eddie explains.
There's 2 or 3 different kinds of producers, and they're all good in their own respect. There's arranger-producers, and there's engineer-producers. I would say an engineer-producer is real good for a group or a band that has a sound in mind. An arranger producer would probably be better for a solo singer or a solo artist.
Offord worked his way through the ranks at London's Advision studio, starting as a gopher, then working as an assistant, and finally as an engineer. One of his projects was a hit record for Julie Driscoll, Brian Auger, and the Trinity called This Wheel's on Fire. He also worked on sessions with The Move, Alan Price, and Manfred Mann before his real breakthrough, engineering the second Yes album. The band liked his work, and by the time Yes recorded their third album, Eddie Offord was co-producing. Offord was an experimenter, and Yes was full of new ideas, and as a team, they created the definitive art rock music of the 70s. Offord says it's his willingness to experiment that made him a hit with Yes.
I was always experimenting with sounds. I would just talk with Yes and John and people, and they would have some kind of sound in their head, and I would experiment with things that hadn't been done before to create those sounds.
With the Yes album, they found the groove for the classically flavored rock they were aiming at. Offord liked helping them find new sounds and loved building in those mood changes you hear in the classic Yes works. Now, over 10 years later, Offord can listen to the Yes album with a less critical ear, and he likes it, especially one particular track.
I like Starship Trooper a lot. I can maybe for the first time hear it objectively. When you do something, you're so wrapped up in it, and you think you see flaws in it that most people can't hear because, you saw the process through, but hearing them years later, you don't notice those things, and you just really can appreciate them for the first time.
This
Starship Trooper from the Yes album on the continuous history of rock and roll. Eddie Offord helped produce and engineer the live Yes show, and he also worked with another of art rock's top groups, ELP. They're next when our profile of Eddie Offord returns.
First the Pac-Man eats through a maze of dots. Then the Pac-Man heads for the corner spots. Then he eats his fill of a power pill. And then all those ghosts turn blue. Boo! And Pac-Man eats them all too.
Pac-Man, the new home video game. You can only play it on an Atari video game system.
Have you played Atari today?
Be all that you can be. Keep on reaching. Keep on going.
Only the Army offers you skill training, travel, college benefits, and a 2-year enlistment.
Be all that you can be.
See your Army recruiter today.
'Cause we need you in the army.
Paid for by the U.S. Army.
This is the continuous history of rock and roll, presenting the fourth in our series on rock producers. This week it's Eddie Offord.
Are you ready?
Emerson, Lake, and Palmer from Tarkus, and a song inspired by ELP's helper in the studio, producer-engineer Eddie Offord. Working at Advision Studios gave Eddie Offord the opportunity to be in sessions with some of rock's real heavyweights. His reputation spread, and in 1970, when Emerson, Lake, and Palmer got together, they asked Eddie Offord to help out.
I'd built up quite a reputation as an engineer. At that time, the synthesizer had just been invented. The first Moog had just come out. And it was a very complicated system. And at that time, it was only engineers who knew how to program sounds in it. And I used to do that for Keith. I taught him how to program, the Moog synthesizer.
He had white horses and ladies by the score, all dressed in satin and waiting by the door. Ooh, what a lucky
I did pictures at an exhibition, which I recorded on 8-track, and that came out real good. I was real happy with that.
From Emerson, Lake and Palmer on the continuous history of rock and roll. Lucky Man was from ELP's 1971 debut and a track from their first live album, Pictures at an Exhibition. Eddie Offord worked with Emerson, Lake and Palmer on the first 3 studio albums and the first live one. Next, Eddie Offord talks about Yes Live, the Dregs, and more when we come back.
I wanna bud this buzz for you. And all these really groovy things we all like to do.
This is Rolling Stone Magazine's Continuous History of Rock and Roll and a profile of rock producer Eddie Offord. Eddie Offord is best known for his work with Yes. He not only helped out in the studio recording the tracks, he also kept the band loose and cooperative, helped mix down their rough tracks, and lots of times even went out on tour and ran the sound for the band. Being so involved with Yes made doing their live album Yes Songs a pleasure.
I mean, I knew every note of the music, having worked on the albums and toured with them so much. There was no guesswork on, is there a guitar solo coming up or is this coming up? I knew every note of it, so I could make sure it all went down.
Live Yes on the continuous history of rock and roll. Eddie Offord's last work with Yes was some of the tracks for the Drama album. In the mid-'70s, Eddie Offord built a portable recording studio in London and moved it to Woodstock, New York. He set up shop there and recorded Todd Rundgren, David Sanchez, and Levon Helm of the band.
My favorite joke, I try to give 'em a toe, but the blues don't burn, they just smoke.
He also worked with Billy Squire on his first solo album, A Tale of the Tape. Eddie says he wasn't surprised at all that Billy Squire became such a hit.
I wasn't surprised. If you want something bad enough, you get it. And he really wanted, to be liked by, teenagers and to have that kind of success. And he went after it every way he knew how and got it.
Some say love is borrowed time. Lonely, lonely love is the hurt. It's got you down till you're on the line. Now I can read you like a book, say I can read your mind. You've been holding at the hands of time. Heaven sakes, you know you should be blind. You should be my love. You should be high love. You should be my love. You've been left to your own devices. Head out, tongue out, compromises. You're the first to go, but the last in line. And if you lose your love, you can lose your mind. You've been running out of borrowed time. Heaven sakes, you know you should be blind. You should be high love. You should be my love. You should be high love. You should be my love. The shadows should find you. You should be high love. You should be my love. Put 'em behind you. You should be high love. You should be my love. You should be high love. You should be my love. You should be high love. You should be my love. Ooh, It's all behind you. Let the spirit find you, and the love blind you. Sing. You should be high love. You should be my love. You should be high love. You should be my love. The shadows should find you. You should be high love. You should be my love. Put 'em behind you. You should be high love. You should be my love. You should be high love. You should be my love. You should be high love. You should be my love.
Billy Squire and an Eddie Offord production, Tale of the Tape. These days, Eddie Offord is working in a new studio in Atlanta, Georgia. He recently worked with the Dregs there on the album Industry Standard.
I mean, I just went after them because they're just a great band, and so hard to find artists to work with that you can really respect, and they certainly merit that.
The Dregs, who got help from veteran producer Eddie Offord for their album Industry Standard. Eddie Offord has an address where you can write him, and we have one where you can write us when we come back for a few final thoughts.
I don't know how I'm going to pay for college. If I borrow the money, I'll be in debt till I'm 40.
If you'd like to start college with the money to pay for it, it could pay you to join the Army first. With the new Army College Fund, you can accumulate up to $15,200 for college in just 2 years, up to $20,100 in 3. Ask your recruiter about the Army College Fund.
'Cause we need you in the Army.
Paid for by the U.S. Army.
First the Pac-Man eats through a maze of dots. Then the Pac-Man heads for the corner spots. Then he eats his fill of a power pill. And then all those ghosts turn blue. Boo! And Pac-Man eats them all too.
Pac-Man, the new home video game. You can only play it on an Atari video game system.
Have you played Atari today?
Eddie Offord was at the cutting edge of modern rock production when he did Yes and Emerson, Lake and Palmer in the 70s. His love for mood swings in music and his artistic style influenced the sound of lots of big groups. These days he's working with new bands like Art in America, and he's got some advice for young rockers who are looking for a career in music. Be original.
Basically, I'm looking for originality in music. I mean, everyone has influences, but I can't stand a group that just directly rips off another group. So I'm looking for not necessarily great musicianship, I'm just looking for originality. I think there's a lot of open space left by Yes and ELP. If any group feels like, taken up where those guys left off, they'd do real well.
If you'd like to contact Eddie Offord, here's his address.
Eddie Offord Studios, P.O. Box 90903, Atlanta, Georgia, and the zip is 30364.
If you were ever in a group who had a record on the charts and you feel you're part of the continuous history of rock and roll, we'd love to hear from you. We'd also like to thank everyone who's let us know what they think about the show. Here's our address, 745 Fifth Avenue, New York, New York, 10151, or just write in care of this station. The Continuous History of Rock and Roll is produced by Denny Somack and R.D. Steele for Rolling Stone Magazine Productions. I'm Gary Bridges. Be sure to join us next week when Rolling Stone Magazine explores another chapter in the continuous history of rock and roll.
The Continuous History of Rock and Roll was brought to you by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you.
This week we'll be talking with a rock innovator, an experimenter, a man who's helped shape the sound of modern music in the 70s. Producer Eddie Offord. The producer helps a band shape its sound in the studio and gives the band direction. Eddie Offord says there are two types of producers, engineer producers like him and arranger producers.
I would say an engineer producer is real good for a group or a band that has a sound in mind. An arranger producer would probably be better for a solo singer or a solo artist.
Offord got his first job in music as a gopher at AdVision Studios in London when he was 18. He worked his way up to being an assistant and then an engineer. He got to work on a hit record for Julie Driscoll, Brian Auger, and the Trinity called This Wheel's on Fire. He also did sessions with The Move, Alan Price, and Manfred Mann before he engineered the second Yes album, Time and a Word. Tomorrow, Eddie Offord experiments successfully with the sound of Yes on the continuous history of rock and roll. I'm Gary Bridges for Rolling Stone Magazine and Budweiser. Rolling Stone Magazine's Continuous History of Rock and Roll, Volume 1, Number 45. Our series on rock producers returns this week with a rock experimenter who's helped shape the sound of Yes, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, the Dregs, and more. It's producer Eddie Offord after this word from Budweiser.
This bud's for you. There's no one else who does it quite the way you do. So here's to you. For all you do, you know the king of beers is coming through. Coming through. This bud's for you for being on the job and working hard all day. Working hard all day. This bud's for you. This bud's for you. There's no one else who does it quite the way you do. For all you do. This bud's for you. For all. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis. This bud's for you.
Eddie Offord got his start at London's AdVision Studios. He worked his way up to studio engineer and worked with The Move, Alan Price, Manfred Mann, and then Yes. Offord engineered the second Yes album, Time and a Word. Well, he and the band hit it off, and they agreed to work together on the Yes album, the band's third. As a team, they created the definitive art rock music of the 70s. Eddie Offord says it's that willingness to experiment that made him a hit with Yes.
I was always experimenting with sounds. I would just talk with Yes and John and people, and they would have some kind of sound in their head, and I would experiment with things that hadn't been done before to create those sounds.
Doing the Yes album, they found the groove for that classically flavored rock they were aiming at. Offord liked helping him find new sounds, and he loved building in those mood changes you hear in the classic Yes works. On tomorrow's continuous history of rock and roll, we'll hear Eddie Offord talk about working with Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I'm Gary Bridges for Rolling Stone magazine and Budweiser. Rolling Stone magazine's Continuous History of Rock and Roll, Volume 1, Number 45. Our series on rock producers returns this week with a rock experimenter who's helped shape the sound of Yes, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, the Dregs, and more. It's producer Eddie Offord after this word from Budweiser.
I've been working all day, I need to help myself a bit. Bartender, give me a third, 'cause that beer come through. I'm drinking my bud, and this one's for you. Now let me hear you play the blues. The blues. Budweiser, keep on coming through. Whatever you do, boy, this bud's for you. Well, the king of beer, keep on coming on through. Well, I'm drinking Budweiser, oh, this bud's for you. Yeah, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Eddie Offord, the engineer-producer, started his career at Advision Studios in London. Working there gave him the opportunity to be in on sessions with some of rock's real heavyweights. Because of his work, especially with Yes, his reputation spread, and in 1970, Emerson, Lake and Palmer asked Eddie Offord to help with their new band.
At that time, the synthesizer had just been invented. The first Moog had just come out, and it was a very complicated system. And at that time, it was only engineers who knew how to program sounds in it, and I used to do that for Keith.
Eddie Offord worked with ELP on their first 3 studio albums, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, Tarkus, and Trilogy.
From the beginning,
And he was also involved with their first live album, Pictures at an Exhibition. Tomorrow, it's Eddie Offord and Live Yes on the continuous history of rock and roll. I'm Gary Bridges for Rolling Stone magazine and Budweiser. Rolling Stone magazine's Continuous History of Rock and Roll, Volume 1, Number 45. Our series on rock producers returns this week with a rock experimenter who's helped shape the sound of Yes, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, the Dregs, and more. It's producer Eddie Offord after this word from Budweiser.
you do. These buds for you.
Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
Eddie Offord is probably best known for his work with Yes. He not only helped him out in the studio, he also went on tour with them to mix their live sound as well. Being so involved with Yes made doing their live album, Yes Songs, easy. Eddie Offord.
I mean, I knew every note of the music. There was no guesswork on, is there a guitar solo coming up or is this coming up? I knew every note of it.
Offord also had a hand in some of the tracks for the Drama album. Tomorrow on the Continuous History of Rock and Roll, Eddie Offord talks about his work with the Dregs on their album Industry Standard. I'm Gary Bridges for Rolling Stone Magazine and Budweiser. Rolling Stone Magazine's Continuous History of Rock and Roll, Volume 1, Number 45. Our series on rock producers returns this week with a rock experimenter who's helped shape the sound of Yes, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, the Dregs, and more. It's producer Eddie Offord after this word from Budweiser.
Well, this bud's for you. This bud's for you. Well, there's no one else who does it quite the way you do. For all you do, this bud's for you. Yes, this bud's for you. Woo, this bud's for you. For all you do, the king of fears is coming through. Yeah, for all you do, well, this bud's for you. Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis.
These days, you can find Eddie Offord working at his new studio in Atlanta, Georgia. From there, he produced the Dregs on their album Industry Standard. Now, after Yes and Emerson, Lake and Palmer, that might sound like a surprise. But Eddie liked the Dregs, and he says they're his kind of band.
I mean, I just went after them because they're just a great band and so hard to find artists to work with that you can really respect, and they certainly merit that.
Eddie Offord was at the cutting edge of modern rock production when he did the Yes and Emerson, Lake and Palmer projects in the 70s. And these days, he likes to shape the sound of new groups with an eye to the future. Right now, he's working with a band called Art in America. Tomorrow, Eddie Offord's got some advice for rockers just getting a start. And listen this weekend for the hour-long Continuous History of Rock and Roll, highlighting the career of producer Eddie Offord. I'm Gary Bridges for Rolling Stone Magazine and Budweiser. Rolling Stone Magazine's Continuous History of Rock and Roll, Volume 1, Number 45. Our series on rock producers returns this week with a rock experimenter who's helped shape the sound of Yes, Emerson, Lake and Palmer, the Dregs, and more. It's producer Eddie Offord. Eddie Offord is an engineer and producer whose modern approach to recording has helped shape the sound of art rock in the 70s. His love for creating mood swings within a composition and his experimental sort of curiosity have helped Emerson, Lake and Palmer and Yes make some great recordings.
Looking for the sunshine.
Nowadays, he's working in his new Atlanta recording studio. He's already produced an album for the Dregs there. And And Offord is always looking for new bands like Art in America. He's got some advice for young rockers who are looking for a career in music. Be original.
Basically, I'm looking for originality in music. I mean, everyone has influences, but I can't stand a group that just directly rips off another group. So I'm looking for not necessarily great musicianship, I'm just looking for originality.
This weekend, the continuous history of rock and roll expands to 1 hour to present the fourth in our producers series, Eddie Offord. I'm Gary Bridges for Rolling Stone Magazine and Budweiser.